Hi, everybody. I'm Charlene Shirk. I'm your host of Digital Champions, where we have the opportunity to speak with some of the most innovative thought leaders in the digital space. And joining us today is Hunter Young with HIFI Agency. Hunter, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, we're honored. And you have a pretty good niche in a marketplace. Talk a little bit about the background of HIFI Agency and what you do for your clients.
Yeah, we started the business with the pretty simple premise that, the financial sector was going through a heavy disruptive period that is, if you follow the news, that is ongoing and will be for some time. So essentially, we built a full service marketing firm just locked into the financial sector. So focused on fintech as well as the traditional financial industry as well.
Now, you're going to break it down for folks who may not be familiar with the financial side of things, because you said if you watch the news, because things are ever evolving right now in financial markets. So break it down a little bit for those maybe unfamiliar with those terms.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it as brief as possible because it really is a fast-moving space and it covers a lot of ground. So you may see stories in the news about companies like Robinhood or you may see Chime and some of these other technology companies, that are coming from traditional software backgrounds, really disrupting what a lot of us know as the traditional financial sector, meaning banks and credit unions, both large and small. And essentially, the trend in the United States in particular has been the consolidation of the financial services sector, being banks and credit unions, merging together. And the number of banks and credit unions in this country has declined over the last 30 years. And that's been because of technology predominantly, but because of the need for scale as well. And then you have this really disruptive force from the technology sector coming forward, where you have everyone from the largest tech players like Apple and Google wanting to break into that industry to really disruptive startups coming out of every corner of the U.S. that are disrupting mortgage and insurance and wealth management in ways that previously couldn't do without the technology we're afforded today.
Well, and I just saw a commercial for Chime the other day on TV, and I was like, oh, this is something new, that I haven't heard of before. So when these companies are coming to you, what is the pain point that you are solving for them?
Yeah, a lot of them are struggling, as you can imagine. The general American consumer, we were confused about banking products and services anyways. So now layer in all this technology, and now you've got cryptocurrency, and it's really, really confusing time for the American consumer when it comes to their finances. It was already hard enough. And really, a lot of our clients come to us and ask, how do you connect with someone who is already struggling with who to turn to, who to partner with relative to their financial needs. And in our world, that's marketing, that's communication, and it's really data-driven communication. So whether it's a B2B client, so you're talking about financial technology companies who are selling their softwares to banks and credit unions, or it's a B2C client where it's either a financial technology company going direct to the consumer, like Chime is today, or it's potentially a credit union that's trying to innovate and interesting new products and services to the client base. That's where we come in. And really the full service aspect of that, the reason why I built this intentionally to be a full service agency is because we have that industry focus. We have a really good command of all the technology and all the layers of things that live underneath your bank, underneath these technology, underneath these apps that you're using on your phone to manage your money. We have a really good command of the things underneath. And that gives us the ability to say, all right, we can create real smart data-driven marketing programs because we have not only a MarTech understanding, but also an IT understanding of the industry as well.
And as you said, the space has gotten so crowded. I remember when I first signed up for Mint and, the budgeting software, everybody's like, how could you trust some online company with all of your information? And now, like you said, it's a much more evolved market space. So where do you see this now in the next 2 years going?
Well, think about the fact that $1 in $5 right now in venture capital is going to fintech. And you hear terms in the news that everything is a fintech. You hear that phrase a lot. It's a gift and a curse in many ways because everyone wants a piece of financial services now. There was an announcement yesterday that PayPal is buying Pinterest, and people say, "What? PayPal's buying Pinterest? What does that even mean? Why is a traditional payments company buying essentially a social network that was filled with mood boards of weddings and other things that people put on their boards? Why would that be the case? Because it's a commerce play. It is a new type of level of integration into all the things you do online. And the same thing applies with what we're going to see in the coming 2 years. You're going to see big tech, the big companies we know, get deeply involved in everything from how you transact online to how you invest your money. And you're also going to see a tremendous influx of new companies essentially asking for your business relative to new ways to think about insurance. We're going to make insurance much easier for you. New ways to do your mortgage faster, better online. New ways to manage your money. New ways to invest in these odd things called cryptocurrencies. You're going to see that accelerate tremendously in the next 2 to 3 years.
And then Hunter's business is going to grow exponentially with all of this. Well, yeah, he's like, yep, I got it. Well, Hunter, thanks so much for joining us and giving some insight kind of behind the curtain a little bit into a market space that probably most of us really just don't understand or don't appreciate.
I appreciate the time. Thanks for letting me speak on it.
Oh, it's great. Thank you so much. That's Hunter Young with HIFI Agency. He joined us today on Digital Champions, where, again, we're always learning so much. And if you'd like to learn more about Hunter and HIFI Agency, you can always check them out on dailyadbrief.com. And that's going to do it for us on this segment of Digital Champions. I'm your host, Charlene Shirk. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.